Well, now let's look at another check, or get another check, I should say, on Tesla, because that stock is now moving lower. It's down fractionally here in overtime after missing on the top and bottom lines a few moments ago. Total revenue decreased 12% year over year. That was impacted by a decline in vehicle deliveries, lower regulatory credit revenue, and reduced vehicle average selling price. Roth Capital senior research analyst Craig Irwin is joining us. He has a buy rating on the stock, a price target of $395. I mean, there's always a lot in this report, Craig. So I know one of the other key metrics, GAAP gross margin ex regulatory credits, came in at 15%. Looks like that was a little bit better than expectations. Yeah. Robotaxi, Cybercab. It looks like scheduled for volume production starting in 2026. A lot of commentary here on AI, trade uncertainty. What were the big takeaways to you?
So you hit the first one, adjusted automotive gross margins, 15 versus 13.6. That changes the direction of margins. That's one of the two big things on the P&L that's been going the wrong way. The other thing is deliveries. So I think the reason the stock's maybe not performing better right now is there are 3 shots on goal for deliveries to take back up before the end of the year. The first is the pre-buy. So with the $7,500 federal credit expiring at the end of September, you've got people will look to capture that in the third quarter. Second thing is the Model Y L in China. I've heard that's going to be a less expensive vehicle, and it's potentially something that could lift volumes. And then they are confirming in the presentation that the less expensive variant in North America is going to be on track for the end of the year. So we could actually see some volume acceleration, but I think people are hopefully looking for a little bit more detail in print. We'll see what they say on the call.
So how much now hinges on the call and what Elon Musk has to say? And given the fact that they're reaffirming some of this guidance for some of these big upcoming initiatives and projects, how much also hinges on that pipeline where we know a number of executives have departed?
Yeah, the call is always, always important. So the two things that I think will have the greatest alpha are Cybercab and Optimus. So there's a lot of photos out there of the Tesla diner and Optimus doing things like serving popcorn. Obviously, Elon's really focused on the brand right now, which is smart. Cybercab, I think maybe it's a little early for us to see the robotaxi progress in Austin. They are working on a bunch of new cities. Maybe we'll get more details on that, or some details on the permitting discussions with the different regulatory authorities. These are the things that I think can serve as near-term catalysts, short-term catalysts. And biggest question right now is what's it going to take to get the driver out of the car? First step. And then what are your thoughts really on, these teleoperation engineers? How many do you expect to have? If Waymo's used 2 to 3, are you going to have 1?
Yeah. Good question. And also, how exposed is Tesla stock here to missed deadlines? Elon Musk is known to miss deadlines, and he's saying these things are happening, late this year or next year. What happens if they don't?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a skeptic on this. The semi, right? But I will say the Watt EV guys really liked it. I mean, I saw one of the early customers that loves this vehicle just a couple months ago. Yeah, we know Elon's almost always late. It's one of the reasons I think everybody cheered when he went back to Tesla full time. Probably we will see some things maybe drag on late or completed at the very last minute. He's going to be really focused on keeping his schedule now and
starting a political party.
Yeah.
Well, how important is it that this vehicle sales plunge, as some are calling it right now, stop? Is this temporary? Does it need to be? Or is this the sort of thing that you expect new product to fix either way?
So here's the thing. I mean, if you step back and you look at Optimus, for example, I'm hearing that the supply chain, the conversation that's being had is about 30 million units. People are talking about pricing 30 million units over the next many years. I don't know how many years, but imagine 10, 15, 20 years. If we start to get data points that show that that's actually in the realm of feasible or reasonable, something that could actually materialize, you could see sales of EVs cut in half, and the market could go bonkers on that. It'll all come down to the actual functionality of these robots. How successful are they in getting them out? So there are some big shots on goal. Where they stand now, though, I really would like to see the EV sales reaccelerate. I think there's opportunities for that, and I think for the stock to work right now, flattish is really where we need expectations to stay.